Le nostre opere come abbiamo spiegato sono due, quindi nella mostra Ipervisualità. Una si chiama Fragile e l'altra si chiama 259. Quella 259 è un lavoro molto semplice, in realtà è una singolazione di distruzione del disco di John Lennon, Immagini, che fa parte di una serie di lavori che avevamo fatto un po' di anni fa sulla caduta delle grandi utopie del Novecento. Con la semplice azione di graffiare il disco di John Lennon andavamo a fare una riflessione su una delle grandi utopie del Novecento, dove John Lennon appunto parlava di questo. Fragile è un lavoro che viene fatto alla Galleria Sabauda a Torino e in realtà potremmo definirlo quasi un autoritratto, perché è una riflessione sull'importanza della bellezza e della bellezza nel suo momento di morte, portatrice di morte, perché abbiamo scelto un pavone praticamente negli ultimi anni della propria vita e l'abbiamo fatto con il suo tutor accompagnare dentro la Galleria Sabauda in modo tale da avere questa quasi metafora di un simbolo di narcisismo, di bellezza e di un'altra infinita serie di significati che in un momento vicino alla morte si ritrova a misurarsi con i grandi capolavori che gli sopravviveranno. Dunque la grande fragilità della bellezza e la grande importanza di accudire la bellezza.
So there's two works. One is called Deep Gold, which is actually an homage to Luis Buñuel's second film, L'Âge d'Or, El Siglo de Oro, which was a kind of amour fou story. And I created an insert which you can actually implant in the original film as a prolongation of the original movie, focusing a little bit on the feminist aspect of Buñuel's film. So you see a kind of Weimar Republican Berlin 20s mixed with a touch of Berghain, maybe contemporary Berlin life, in which the actual hero of the original film wanders through a world of lust and female power. Swap, the second film I'm showing here, is playing a little bit with the cliche of exchanging drugs against money in gangster movies, where two gangs meet in the periphery of a big city and swap goods or money. And it's of course a metaphor for the lack of control that we have on what happens with our money when we bring it to the bank and think it's safe there. It's also playing a lot with cliches of cinema. I work with dancers instead of actors, and they are they're kind of fulfilling absurd rituals. Instead of swapping the suitcase once, they swap it several times, and you never know who actually has what at the end. It's shot in Berlin, in an inner city harbor. It was evoked by a little scene in Michael Mann's wonderful thriller Heat, where Al Pacino and Robert De Niro play hide and seek, and that was the trigger years ago. I thought about that would be nice to focus on that scene and make it work out of it.
About your work.
The works which are shown in this wonderful collection show of Wemhöner at the Palazzo includes one of my works called Playtime. And Playtime is a work which was made or inspired by the 2008 crash. And the 2008 crash, as we know, was the time when capital was nearly stopped in its tracks. And so what I did was to make a work which, first of all, looked at Reykjavik and what happened to an artist when capital was stopped in its tracks, how that affected him. And then I looked at another city, Dubai, with a maid who is not stopped in her tracks but has to follow the lines of capital and lives in Dubai, and what is that like? And then I wanted to also reflect on my own situation working in an art world context and to look at how capital flows in that context which I work in, and to see or to examine the attitude to capital there. So it's a kind of self-reflexive piece, and it's a work which very much looks at cities and how different people evolve themselves in cities. And it's also a work that also tries to look at the incorporeal, so how can we represent things that are invisible. So the title Playtime comes from Jacques Tati's Playtime, and in the work there's lots of quotational moments from Jacques Tati's film. And I guess the seminal part for me is the very famous scene where Jacques Tati's character looks down onto an office and sees people working, and in my work they're reproduced by data terminals, which I guess is not very original. Everybody knows now that capital flows through technology, but I wanted to make a work which was marking the difference between, if you like, a particular moment when capital and speed, all of these things are very much the lingua franca of how we live today.